Hi, welcome everyone to our webinar. And Bill and I have decided that we're going to be doing this maybe on a weekly basis, just as a discussion session, to sit and chit chat because it's just now so easy with technology. Today I want to talk about our agenda for 2014. Every year we come up with an agenda, at least I do, and it's things that I want to accomplish. But I think it's also a little bit of foretelling the future, because when we look at what's going on, and when I look at what's going on, I see trends. And I'm able to analyze trends, and by seeing what's going on in Illinois and Idaho and California and New York, by seeing all of those things, I am able to really analyze. I'm really able to analyze and see not only what's happening, but what's going to happen. So one of the things I'd like to talk about is trends. All right, Bill, stop rustling your papers. You're killing me. Now, I've muted everyone else, by the way, because there was too much rustling going on. Bill, I left you unmuted. So, Bill, you there?
I'm there.
Okay, so you and I can chit-chat. Feel free to pop in anytime you want. The very first important trend to understand is the Colossus to the courtroom paradigm. I've lectured in the past 3 or 4 weeks to Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, and I think there was 1 or 2 others. I just don't remember. But when I've done that, I've always prevented the Colossus to the courtroom program. And if we look at the left panel here, this is the certification course that we've created, the Colossus to the courtroom program. And I just have to get it recorded so I can get it certified. But I have to tell you, when I give this to the attorneys and I explain it to them, as I did last night to Illinois, I mean, they really, really went crazy. I mean, they went nuts. I went through the entire program with them. I explained everything, and by the time I got to here, which is digitizing, and I explained to them that if they have an amputated leg, it's 25 to 28% whole person impairment, and if they have ligament laxity, it's the same thing as losing a leg. And then we explained it to them about a simple spinal x-ray, and it's done by a medical neuroradiologist, and we're just the reporter reporting the higher authority, which is the AMA guides. I mean, it was like, oh my God. It was like, where do we get it? So we really need to explain and get across and learn how to communicate at a higher level to the attorneys this concept. Because when you look at Colossus to the courtroom, and yesterday I spoke to the president of the largest trial lawyers association in the United States, which is New Jersey. They're larger than their membership is larger than the national organization. I mean, that's how huge they are. When I go to Atlantic City, you know, there are 2,200 lawyers that show up. We get quite a few hundred there. But the issue is, Colossus to the courtroom means Colossus is settlement dollars and courtroom is verdict dollars. And really what it comes down to is understanding these the variables and the paradigms of what's going on, but then being able to survive I'm looking for a piece of paper. Here it is. Being able to survive a voir dire hearing. Now, Bill, you said something before. Why do they need a voir dire hearing?
Because it's the easiest and most effective way to defend against a credible threat.
Yeah. In other words, a voir dire hearing is to discredit you as an expert. You're a credible threat, so they don't want your words to be talked about. They want to get you thrown out of court. So what we're doing is we're going to be focusing for this next year on teaching you how to reposition your credentials, because those credentials are everything. And it becomes lawyers right now, and in 2014 and 15, have it much more difficult than the doctors do. You think you're being squeezed with all those crappy managed care companies? Well, at least you're getting something. Lawyers are being squeezed out of the court almost in its entirety, where a lot of them are not taking cases. So what we've explained to the lawyers in the last 5 or 6 lawyer meetings, we've really brought this to light, is that, listen, we're not going to, if you get the brain injury or the dismemberment or the fracture, hey, we understand that you don't want us, and we get that. You're going to want the ortho, the neurosurgeon. But let's talk about the other 98% of your clients. Those are the soft tissue cases that lawyers are turning away. I get dozens of calls, more than dozens, every week from prospective clients who want to join the program. And they all say the same thing. There are less and less clay cases. I don't know why. Well, there are less and less cases because lawyers are having, their cases are they're turning away cases. They're not taking them because they're getting $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 in settlement offers because of these lowball settlements, because they're not using the Colossus type technology. And then they can't afford the ortho, neuro, and neurosurge because they're 8, 10, 12, 20,000 to go to court, and they can't take chiropractors in because our credentials historically are horrible. They suck. Now we explain to them what we can bring to the table as far as credentials and as far as certifications go. And let me tell you, this little piece of paper right here, this certification, is huge with the medical school, with spinal biomechanical engineering and MRI. It's huge. Once the lawyers understand these things and you teach them how to use it, you know what? It almost becomes game over. In droves, they will turn to you. And what I'm getting in seminars lately is right at the end of the seminar, for the first time, lawyers are going to the doc saying, you know, I got to send cases to you. I just got to. Because the lawyers are kicking the cases out of their office because they know they can't handle them. Because Allstate, State Farm, Geico, Progressive, etc. have perfected deny, delay, and defend so well. And then you put that in with the low-ball offers of Colossus because we're missing. And what are we missing? Right now, there are 36 points we as doctors have to cover. 36. And we'll go through that in the courses. And by the way, everything I'm showing you today, I'm going to be teaching over the next year. But there's a way of accelerating it. Also, you have to increase utilization of research. Even though there's only 2 states right now through regulation or legislation that mandate the utilization of research or mandate research to get reimbursed, almost every state in the country is now denying care because the doctor doesn't have evidence base behind it. You must. Lawyers also, to settle their cases higher, must need evidence base. You must. It's going to be a mandatory step to include evidence-based care. And thankfully, we have Bill, who's one of the biggest research nerds out there, who scours the annals to find this stuff to share it with us. So we're going to be bringing it to you, and you're going to be needing to up in your game. Now, lowering exposure to MRIs. Not lowering magnetic exposure, and there is no radiation exposure, and not your exposure. This is the primary care stuff, and this is pretty much what Bill does. Primary care doctors, if they get 10 patients this month, all who have a legitimate myelopathy, Billy, whatever you're doing, stop. You're typing, you're moving papers, you stay still, okay? Whatever these primary care doctors are doing and treating, and say they get 10 myelopathy cases, they now have 10 letters of requests or letters for approval for MRIs from the insurance companies. They get profiled by the carriers and now out of that bell curve, and the insurance companies are throwing them out of managed care companies, and they're flipping out. Primary care doctors are desperately looking to shift the liability of someone else to refer those MRIs. And that's predominantly what Bill does with the MD referral program, and he's going to talk about that a little bit when we get to our formal gathering. Now, lastly, carriers' accountability to pay timely. I am dedicated this year to teaching you how to get paid on a timely basis, and if not, how to get interest. Now, if I ask you, all of you, to a person, what are the rules in your state to get paid? What are the regulations to get paid? How long does a carrier have to pay you? Well, you might turn around and say, well, they have to pay me in 30 days or 40 days, or I'm not sure, but I know they got to pay me. That's not what I asked you. I asked you what the rules are. If you ask me that question, I will say Section 6515, subsection 2, subsection E, says the carrier must pay you within 30 days or pay 2, or subsection 2H says the carrier must pay 2% interest without the assignee demanding payment hereafter. Appellate Court 210, Section 210 says that by the way, upheld that ruling, that the carrier must pay voluntarily without even the doctor requesting that. With the exception of South Carolina, which has even a better set of regs, every state in the country has a rule, and you don't know that. So I want to teach you that. And we have a system that we use. One of my clients is an oncologist. He went from 60% collections to 98% collections in 90 days by using this system. I saw 650 visits a week. I had 2 insurance people working on this. We were to 93% collection. We're going to teach you how to do things like this, like we did in New Jersey, okay? Which says, the services rendered were billed with the New Jersey PIP coverage guidelines. It's now been beyond the 60 days allowed by Reg PL 1998, etc., etc. Since you violated this, we can submit the entire claim for judgment or arbitration through you. We would like to resolve this without using counsel. If we go to court, it will cost you the amount of claim and attorney's fees with 12% interest per month, as mandated by this section of law. You see, and then you send a letter. We're going to teach you how to create things like that and how to use things like that. That's how to get paid. Just like we don't take any crap from bad IMEs, we don't take any crap from the insurance carriers. That, folks, is how to get paid, and that's what we do. So that's what's going to happen in 2014. But here's what we're doing. In March 14th, 15th, and 16th, a little bit similar to what we did in Las Vegas, but a whole lot different, because we're talking about getting you paid. We want you there. We want you to come to the seminar. Here's how to sign up, by the way. You go to the top of the website. It's on top. You click here to sign up. Gives you some inflammatory statistics. By the way, it's true. Docs whose personal salary before starting with us, under 100 grand, went up 61%. This is our agenda. Bill, what do you want to add?
Just the point that my section is really going to be targeting the MD community. And just like Mark goes out to lecture in front of the lawyers and sees the trends, the MD program is about me teaching you how to do that on your own to the MD community.
So you're going to teach them all about that at this seminar?
Yes, how to render continuing education credits to the medical community, how to infiltrate the American Academy of Family Physicians, and really kind of understanding the trends. With the new national healthcare system, the place to be outside of the PI world is to integrate and bury yourself, so to speak, within the primary care world. That's where everybody is going to be transferred. Everybody will have some coverage of insurance, and we'll go through state by state what your plans are, what the mandatory insurance coverage is, so you know whether chiropractic's covered and how much. That's going to be a big focus.
How is the how are we doing with room left at the seminar in space?
It's getting actually pretty tight because of where it is. It's really conveniently located next to LaGuardia, not tons of space. So it's probably, by the end of the week, it'll probably be pretty full. So I just want to make sure, guys, that if you have your plane tickets and no seat, make sure you get your seat.
Okay, great. Listen, I want to thank everyone. Our 10 minutes ended 5 minutes ago. I am going to stop. We're actually at 13 minutes. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.